What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where we slip them in and we get to clipping them in. You already know what it is, man. But before we get into the story, I need you to hit that like and subscribe button. And of course, turn your notification bells onto all. So that way you're abreast of all the dope content I'm bringing all week long. We got a whole lot more for you and we're going to get into it straight up. So what's up, gente? What's up, raza? We're back. And you already know what it is. You can tell by that thumbnail in a menudo style in a direct fashion. Yeah, I said menudo style. That's what I does, cuz. In a menudo style in a direct fashion, man, we're going to get into this. Now, trip out on this. Swifty Blue, I did a couple videos on the individual about a week ago. And I've been hearing a lot of rumors, a lot of things about this guy. And I said, man, that my best wishes were with this guy because I was hoping that he would turn a corner, right? That he was changing for the better. You know, that's all you can hope as a brown man when you see another brown man struggling or going through some situations, whether it be because of his mouth or because of things that he's done or things that people say he's done. All you can do is wish him the best, gente. At the end of the day, we're here to help gentes prosper, help the raza achieve something, kick doors in. You know what I mean? Hey, get to where they want to go. Set goals are what we should be thinking about when we think about things. Swifty Blue is mischaracterized on a lot of different issues, man. I see this guy as a youngster crying out for help. Crying out for help, not from the people. He ain't scared. He ain't no punk. I don't think that should be on his shoulders. I think he's an individual that has made some bad choices in life, has done some things that have irked some people, that may rub some people the wrong way. And now, man, he's suffering for the repercussions of his actions. That's just what it is, you know. But the way I see it, man, although I went hard on him in the past, that's no longer the case, man. I just hope that he does good in life. But I think a lot of people got the situation fucked up when it comes to Swifty Blue. I've been hearing a lot of rumors about he's banned from California or he can't go to his hood or he can't go to certain places. And I don't think that's the situation, man. I think a lot of it stems from rap hatred. Now, I notice a lot of that goes on, man. You know, in gangbanging, you have your opposition. You have your threats. You have the people on the other side that you already know what's up with them. They're your enemies, homes, for one reason or another. And that's just the way you rock daily. If you run into them, homes, you smack them on sight or you get off where you're mad at. That's part of gangbanging 101, eh? You know what I mean? You see a Vulto, you don't like the way he's pushing, you don't like the aggression, you don't like the side he's from, then you do what you does. Hey, no one can be mad at you for it because, like they say, everyone knows what they signed up for. But at the same time, when it comes to Swifty Blue, you know, everyone seems to want to involve, you know, the gangbanging aspect into the rap aspect. And rap, just like anything else, this hip hop community, especially the Chicano rap scene, is infused with that gang mentality. You know, just because you're Chicano and brown and you got a few tattoos and maybe you are from a barrio, doesn't mean your music, your art, your talents have to be based on that. Now, of course, you tell your stories through music and you only talk about what you see and what you've done. So a lot of it does encompass gangbanging. A lot of it does encompass incarceration if you've been there and done that. But most of these rappers nowadays ain't trying to see the inside of them walls. They're not trying to get locked up. You know, when they do get locked up, they come to realize, man, that all that rap fame and everything that they've done on the streets doesn't count. The only thing that matters and counts is what you do within them walls. You know, the people that you meet, affiliate, and associate with, and what you do and how you earn respect on that yada is all that matters. Nothing you do on the street counts. You might have a couple of homeboys that are locked up and they might say, this is a good camarada right here. He put in that work. All right. Oh, he put in that work. Okay, well, here, hold that. Let you hold something. Let's see what kind of work you put in right here where it counts. And that's how that is. But a lot of people rap about situations. They talk about incarceration or they talk about gangs. And that gives them a bad rap. Automatically, people assume they're part of that. Now, when Swifty first hit the scene, of course, you know, that's all he was talking about. Everything was gang-related, drums, 50 cows, things of that nature. What he did or didn't do. Maybe he was living off the fame of others, or maybe he was telling his true stories. Either way, I didn't look at him as a gang member hardcore. I looked at him as someone from a barrio that rapped. You know, and his talent was going to dictate his program. It was only going to take him so far. You know, but like I said, man, rapping and all that doesn't mean nothing when you're incarcerated or you're locked up. That's where it counts. That's where the big boys play. And let me tell you, homes, they don't play. It's real true situations. You seen what happened with Money Sign Suede. He got incarcerated in rap fame and a rap name and a big contract. And none of that could save you from what happens on them yards. Man, them yards are dangerous and anything can happen on any given day. I've been in situations where I thought I wasn't going to come back from yard or I thought I wasn't even going to make it past that Sally port. That's just how it is. You know, when you got things that are on your shoulders or thoughts in your mind, home, sometimes they can cloud your judgment. I've seen Vultos roll it up and fucking get rid of themselves, check in, because they get all tweaked out or spun out on a yard, or they think someone's after them, or people are pushing an agenda, or politics are coming into play. And so they wiggle and they get on. Later on, they find out, damn, homie, I was just on a good one. I was tripping, right? I've seen a lot of homeboys check in on that. I've seen Vultos that are really going to get hit, feel it. They sense it, homes. It's like a fucking third eye. You know what I mean? They see it coming, and they're able to wiggle. And then I've seen some Vultos just hit that yard time after time after time and get scraped, but won't bow down like the West Side Connection. They keep going. Now, Swifty doesn't take me as one of those fellas that's going to do that. You know, if he does have a situation that has come up and if people are really tripping off of him, he doesn't seem like the type of individual to me that needs that smoke or wants that smoke. I think he just wants to turn that new leaf and do his music. But trip out on this. There's been a lot of YouTube channels that have been talking about, you know, his situation and what's going on with him. And that's because of the popularity of the name Swifty Blue. You know, a lot of this shit he brought onto his own plate. You know, the check-in with Swifty, you know, a lot of the rap beef, you know, the getting out, the picking up people like Chito Ranas, the gang banging, the disrespecting of the Norteños or the Sureños. A lot of this, you know, that gets put on your plate is because you served yourself, homes. You served yourself a dish best served cold, right? And now you don't want to eat it. That's just how it is. Do I think this guy needs to be touched or hurt? Nah, man, he's a brown man that I think is trying to strive and struggle for what he believes in. But at the same time, man, when you get a bad rap, you got to run with that. That's just it. There's repercussions for every action. I only wish that man the best. But a lot of people have been talking about, you know, he's found himself in situations or caught up with people from his own neighborhood or you know, the gang aspect of things. And I don't think this is the case. From what I'm hearing, man, a lot of it is just rap beef. You know, rap beef can be dangerous. You see Tupac, you see Big. We don't even know if Tupac's still alive. But a lot of it could be rap beef that turns into street shit. And that's just like YouTube, man. A lot of this YouTube beef, a lot of this exposing, pulling paperwork parties, and things that people are doing that aren't even incarcerated anymore or incarcerated at all, are deciding to do, does have some effects on your status within the streets and in prison. Because everybody's watching, gente. There's Vultos right now watching this going, Gun, you're giving them too much game. Yes, knowledge they can't get in college. Let me give these youngsters a little bit of game, and let me give some of these old heads a little bit of game that ain't got it or lost it in the spoon. A lot of the game goes like this. You know, some of the things that you say, whether it be social media, rap music, hip hop, whatever, can be misconstrued or taken as reality. A lot of the things that people say is just straight up bullshit, man. A lot of it's for entertainment, merely stories. A lot of people are just trying to captivate an audience, or they want some clout, or they feel good, or they're trying to chase a bag, the elusive bag everyone's trying to get. A lot of people don't understand people like Swifty Blue. Someone who came from the gutter and came from the streets, you know, came from being raised by his mother, man, came from everywhere that we've come from, man. Poverty, not really having much, you know, and all of a sudden finds his talent, his hidden talent, which is rapping. Now, a lot of people don't like his rap music, say he's not the best, but I think a lot of that stems from people just hating on that young man. I myself think he's all right. You know, he's not the best rapper I ever heard, but he's not the worst. But obviously he's better than me and you because he getting signed to deals, man. He's doing shows and he's doing what he can. Now, the wiggle room for this guy, Swifty Blue, has become minute, right? It's become small. And it's not because of anything that he's necessarily done. I think he did what he had to do. He knew the recipe and went out there for that clout and went out there for that fame and that bag. And he did get recognized. But he also got recognized by a lot of people that don't like him. See, in life, we got haters. I got a whole gaggle of those motherfuckers, right? There's a lot of people that are going to hate you because they ain't you. And there's a lot of people that are going to hate and misconstrue the words coming out of your mouth because it benefits them. It benefits them because they don't got what you got or they don't like what you like. And that's neither here nor there, Anthony. We can't fucking change their fucking light. We can't change their ways of thinking and their mentalities. It just is what it fucking is, eh? And you got to keep on pushing on and keep doing you and not recognize the hate when you see it, but recognize the hate when you see it. You understand the game? If you knew better, you do better. Now, trip out. I heard from through the grapevine and from a monkey swinging on a tree with a banana clip that, you know, Swifty Blue isn't allowed in certain areas, man. And I don't think it has anything to do with any criminal organizations or any gangs or any groups. I think it more so has to do with hating in the rap scene. See, the rap scene has been acting real funny lately. It's been doing this for years, man. People are blurring that line. They're crossing that line from fucking music and art into street gangs and reality. You know, everybody wants to be that man until it comes time to be that man. You know, you got a lot of rappers that are smart, like Mexican OT, and several other individuals. He's just one that comes to mind, who knows how to act street and be about the street and gain the respect of everybody without necessarily aligning himself with one group or another, but having love for everyone. People like Vultos, man, from GT Digital. You know, a guy like that, albeit he's from Northern California, he aligns himself with all the gente and all the raza. That's the smart way of thinking. Never keep yourself closed in on a box. Homes, keep your shit trooping like an Oriental. You got to do what you does, because that at the end of the day is what matters, man. Getting to what your set goals are. You know, when it comes to Swifty, he put himself in that box. You know, doing music with Southerners, only promoting the Southern side, not the other side. And little things that he said, you know, people automatically associated him with a certain group. I mean, he was from a gang or is from a gang, allegedly. You know, I don't want to say that and get him fucking murked out. But one thing I will say is, you know, people only see what you show them and what you tell them they hear. And a lot of people nowadays ain't trying to hear shit. It just is what it is. Once they formulate an assumption on you, once they think they know who you are, man, they're going to feel how they feel. There's nothing you could do about it. Now, I think it's a rap beef. I think it's more so the Chicano rap scene trying to edge and push Swifty Blue out because he's a talented youngster, man. He's someone that's a little hyphy, reminds me of a Northern California rapper. You know, Northern California rappers and Southern California rappers have two different types of swags, but they're starting to gel. They're starting to mix. It's starting to become one. Back in the days, you already knew what you were getting with Vultos like Night Owl, Little Coner, Spencer, Conejo, Vultos like Little Rob, you know, Kid Frost, and even Southern rappers like, High Power Records, Mr. Capone, Criminal, and all these individuals, Blackie Fontana, of course, and so many Stomper. You already knew what you were getting. You were getting that Cholo style with the lowrider twist. You were getting straight Chicanismo. You were seeing Chicanos do their thing in a Southern fashion. I already knew what to expect. I knew the beats. I knew the cadence. I knew the way the flow was. You know, but people like Swifty Blue, Little Weirdo, Drummer Boy, Grifo, all these individuals are changing the game down south in Southern California. People like King Little G and Dopey, of course, who still keeps it old school style because that's just his mentality. He's an old soul. But at the same time, nothing bad to say about that guy. I know he did the other day do an interview and talk about dropout channels and this and that. Hey, but Devalto's fucking actively involved in whatever he's involved in, and I don't hate on him for it, man. He's entitled to his own opinions on what he wants to say, and I still pump his music because guess what? I'm a Northern California non-active gang member, homes, and I'm going to continue to bump who I bump because I represent the raza and I support the raza no matter how their feelings are towards me and mine's. Just what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not here to defend nobody's actions but my own, and I ain't even going to defend those. I'm just going to roll with the motherfucking punches like a tidal wave. Orale, the Pacific to be specific. And no Little Rob, it's just what it is. With Vultos like, Swifty Blue, I think he was one of the first innovators in changing the style and making the raza look different. People were looking at him some type of way. And the Vulto's actually a smart individual of what he did. He opened up a lot of doors. He did things that a lot of people were scared to do or didn't see coming. Albeit he did open his mouth a little too much. He did say some things that were unsavory to certain individuals. And it gives people a bad taste in their mouth. It makes people look bad. When you're stuck into old school ways and you only see a certain vibe, Holmes, then you can't see the rhythm of the night like an El DeBarge song. All you see is what's in front of you rather than what's all the way around you. And you got to keep your shit on 360, swiveling and swerving because that's what it is. Sipping on some of that cherry flavored bourbon. I want to get drunk. You know what it is? E40 shit. Real slanguage here. The gun always is going to give it to you real, especially right here on the collective clips because this is what I'm here for. Swifty Blue is not being hated on by gangs. I don't think he's being hated by one individual and green lights being put on him. Maybe so. And if that is the case, that's none of our business, man, and not to be spoken on, of course, on YouTube. If individuals do choose to speak on it, more power to them. Hey, Holmes, to each their own. Every platform is a platform to be beheld and watched. But myself, I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to speak on that situation. One thing I do know is from what I heard on the grapevine, is that it's just a whole bunch of rappers that have gotten together and they're trying to blackball this guy about the community, the rap community. Because just like gangbanging and just like prison, there's a community, Holmes. You're either in or you're the fuck out. You're not halfway in the in-between. There is none of that. You're either active in general population or you're fucking non-active 50-50 in SNY. It's just what it is. You know, I equate a lot of this shit to prison terms because that's what I did my whole life. From the youth authority to prison, man, I've been there, I've done that, I've seen it, I lived it, I breathed it, I smelt it, it smelled like caca, And then, of course, Holmes, I found out that it wasn't for me. But it doesn't mean it's a bad thing, or doesn't mean I disrespect those that are really fucking putting in that work, or those that are sacrificing for their cause. It just means it's not my thing. You know what I mean? My thing is not your thing. Your thing is not my thing. So it gets fugazi. You know what I mean? But that's a beautiful thing. You already know what it is. Hey, refer to Donnie Brasco if you know what I'm talking about. Now, trip out. This guy Swifty Blue has been getting a lot of hate. And, you know, what happens is when people start talking about situations, they bring shit to light. You know, they could put people in danger, in harm's way. You know, if someone says something or does something and it does damage to their credibility or makes you think something about them, that's on them, Holmes. They did that. You know, they did that. They're going to have to live with that. They made that bed. They're going to lie in it, like Nipsey said. But at the same time, man, if it's other people pushing agendas because they don't like this guy and trolling them and trashing his name and running it through the mud, man, why should he suffer the repercussions for their actions? But that's usually what happens, man. Everyone needs a scapegoat, right? And it seems like Swifty Blue, because a lot of the rap community doesn't like him. And I'm speaking on Southern Chicano rap community. As far as up north, I don't know how they feel about him. It's still a thin line between love and hate. It's still a situation up north where a lot of the norteño rappers are just doing their own thing. A lot of sureño rappers are doing their own thing. And eventually they can come together like butt cheeks one day, man, and let a feather out. And then everyone's going to smell it. You know, they're going to feel it. That's just how it is. I hope that that day comes to pass. Until then, people like Swifty Blue, I don't believe has a green light on him. I don't believe, you know, gangs are pursuing him or looking for him. I think, you know, he's being hedged out by rap artists that are not feeling his swag, his stilo, and what he has brought to the game. But I love what he brought to the game. You know, he brought a little challenge, Holmes, a little game of sport. You know, he changed it in the aspect of not everyone has to be the same. So you can live outside of the box. And if you choose to live outside of the box, yes, you will be hated. Yes, you will be ridiculed. And yes, absolutely, man, people will look at you some type of way like, motherfucker, why you done did that? You know, but he done did that. And you can't take that from him. You know, the southern side and not the other side. When that man first said that, I was like, ugh, what do you mean the southern side, not the other side? You know, there's the southern side and the northern side, Holmes. But really, it's all one side. It's the brown side, eh? Toker said it best. I'm telling you right now, when it comes to brown people, we're all we have. We're a culture so diverse in what we do, but at the end of the day, we're all we have. If we don't fight and struggle and strive for each other, no one's going to do it for us. That's facts. I say it so many times because I mean it so many times. And I can say it in many different ways and mean it in every different way that I say it. One thing is for sure, man, Swifty Blue, I believe, is being blackballed from that community, that rap community. And that's all it is, man. You know, he's taken to the airwaves and defended his name and saying that there's not a green light put on him, or that no one's looking for him, or he isn't punked out of a certain area or a certain situation. But I believe, man, he has something coming. I'm sure, you know, there's people that feel a certain way, and I'm sure he'll catch that fade or do what he has to do as a man, because that's what you have to do in life. Sometimes, man, you don't want to do it. So I ain't trying to get DP'd. But it just is what it is, man. I think if that man sits down with who he needs to sit down with, everything's going to work out in his benefit. Because there's talent and there's money there. And with money equals power. And with power equals pleasure. And with pleasure, so you can't go wrong. Yes, so you can't go wrong. Just what it is. Anyways, that's the way I'm thinking of the situation, how I'm feeling. I know that other channels have put out, man, that there's actually an active green light on him, or that people are looking for him. And maybe so. I don't know. You know, I'm not going to put that on his plate. I'm saying that this guy's turning a new leaf. He's trying to change his characterization of himself. He's trying to change his persona, man. That new song that he dropped a while back, man, that Praise song was dope. Best song I ever heard for him, because it was the realest song I ever heard for him. You know, when you listen to rappers, I listen to the beat, the cadence, what they're delivering, man, and the story behind the situation. And that was definitely a great feel-good story. Now, I'm not saying he's the best guy on the planet and that we should all get behind him. But I'm saying as brown people, man, when you see a youngster in a situation, man, that he can't dig himself out of, get a shovel and start to digging, man. Let's help him out. You know what I mean? I know the paisitas all stick together. It's time for the Chicano community to stick together in a real motherfucking way. Arre way. That's just how it is. With that being said, I hope that you guys soak this knowledge that you can't get in college. I hope that you guys listen to what jams I dropped. And the gem that I'm dropping today is, I think it's just a rap beef, man. I don't think it's a gang beef, and I don't think it's higher up. I think it's a whole bunch of rappers that don't like this Vulto because he's got into it. He's disrespected them. They've disrespected him. And maybe they can come together and get an understanding, man, that there's enough of a bag for everyone and that the stage is big. Ese, the stage is big. Just ask DMX and Woodstock. Rest in peace. You know what it is. With that being said, out that you move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, I'm going to keep dropping jewels because jewels is what I drop. You know what it is, man. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and strive for what I truly and honestly believe in, and that's being the one with the gift, the gab, of the game to give it to you. And that's just how it does it right here on Gunners motherfucking Collective Clips. Bang, bang, bang. And that's what it is, gang, gang, gang. The gun.